Welcome, everyone. So, here's something a little different. Today, I have a little short and solo episode for you. It wasn't something that I planned to do when I started the podcast. I thought I'd just run episode after episode. But after producing the first 8 episodes, they really felt to me like a body of work on their own, and I felt like they had to be held that way and kind of given some space. I'm going to talk more on that later in the episode. We can kind of look over the last season. What I really wanted to say at this moment is that I'm learning to trust in what my body is telling me more and more and more. It's been a 25 plus year journey of that, and something really said just take a pause, right? I think pause might be one of the themes of this first season. I felt like with the podcast, as in with so many things that I do, I just put something out there. It's something I think is a valuable body of work, but without maybe introducing myself to some of you. So I want to say hi. Hi to new and old friends, new listeners, new acquaintances, and thank you for listening. And I wanted to share a couple things that are on the horizon that you might be interested in. So coming up Saturday, October 1st is SOULFest. SOULFest is a yoga, movement, wellness festival that I've been co-producing with Yoga Love magazine for, I think it's 7-8 years now. We were online, of course, the last few years. This year, we're in a new location. We're back in person. I'm so happy to be back in person. And we're going to be on Pier 64 of Hudson Parks. It's really exciting in New York City. We're going to be overlooking the Hudson River, and we have a great program planned for you. The festival is free. It's all day yoga classes, roller skating, salsa, meditation, so many really, really great presenters. Our headliner is Diane Bondi. She's a yoga superstar. She's coming all the way from Canada, and she has offered an extra bonus for our all access or soul supporter ticket holders. She's going to come early for a pre-festival breakfast in the Rock Garden. You can get to meet her and ask her your questions. Like I said, the festival is free, but we do have some paid ticket prices for those who want to support the festival and keep it free for others. We really appreciate that. So please go to soulfestrevolution.com. I'll put it in the show notes and buy a ticket or make a donation, support the festival. You can also get your free tickets there, so everyone needs to sign up for those free tickets. And you can also donate there to one of the festival's longtime supporters, the nonprofit 3.5 Acres Yoga. 3.5 Acres Yoga is a 501c3, a nonprofit that I helped to set up in early 2015. We train yoga teachers in trauma sensitivity. It is so important. Yoga teachers are not always getting that training, and they're working with the nervous system of many humans out there. We do not want to cause more harm, yoga teachers. So get some training in trauma sensitivity. So we train yoga teachers, and then we place them in partnerships with other nonprofits who are serving folks who have been through or are experiencing trauma. So we partner with the Food Bank of New York. We partner with HopeWorks in DC, with various women's shelters, mental health spaces, folks coming out of incarceration. We have been providing free yoga and other stress relief for the Harlem residents for since 2014, even before we were founded. We have many, many programs in Harlem, and we expanded to greater New York City and DC areas more recently. 3.5 Acres, like many nonprofits, is really experiencing some difficulties in fundraising since the pandemic. So if you're feeling you have a little something to give and you believe in the power of yoga and the work that we're doing, I encourage you to go to the website 3.5acres.org, and no donation is too small. We really appreciate your help. You can also come out to meet the folks at 3.5 Acres, board members, our volunteers, and our team at the SOULFest Festival. I also personally have some great offerings coming up. One is a women's realignment retreat. That's October 7th through 9th. It's a packed 3 days of yoga, meditation, coaching, journaling, being in nature, being by the fire, working together to ignite passion and to make sure that the day-to-day things that we're doing are really in alignment with our purpose, with our values, and really how we want to spend our time. This is going to be a very, very powerful retreat with full Shakti, woman, witchy nature vibes, with a lot of support, with love. It's for all levels, and there are limited spaces. I don't know how many spaces will be left by the time you hear this. So please go to my site, laraland.us, to see more on that. And if you're even thinking about it, I say go for it. We've done retreats up here in Bloomville before. The location is just unbelievable. You're going to feel a shift just by coming into this environment. It's a very, very, very special piece of land that we'll be on. The house is very special. It's built by an artist, and you can feel his touches everywhere. The wood, the energy is very, very strong. So come out, be in silence, be in nature, and be with us as women, anyone identifying as a woman, and transform together. I really would love to meet you. I'm also taking a few more coaching clients for personal coaching. I love working with my coaching clients. We work together on that same idea of aligning with values, making a shift, places that you're stuck. I'm really good at helping folks get unstuck and seeing things a different way. We all need someone in our life, whether it's a therapist or a coach or a mentor, that can just be with us and reflect back, ask the strong questions, and help us to see things in a different way. Um, you know, the second to last episode of the first season, Nikki Meyer spoke so eloquently about how we're kind of stuck in our way of seeing things, and it's hard to get out of that. She said that so well, and that's the truth. So a great way to shift that is just having someone else's eyes and ears. So I would love to be that for you. Again, you can go to my site, laraland.us, and read more about that, and that'll be in the show notes. You can also find there my online course, the complete introduction to Ashtanga Yoga, and my other offerings, tons of blog articles and free offerings and YouTube videos and things like that. And finally, I just wanted to say that if you're loving the podcast and you're finding it valuable, it does take about $100 or so, maybe more, to produce each episode. If you feel like you have a little something and you want to support the podcast, you can always do that. I just leave a buy me a coffee at the bottom. And you can donate anything from $5 upward to support the making of this podcast. So that's a little bit about what's coming up. And just wanted to reflect for a minute, on that last season. Really some stunning lineup, I think, to get started. Really pretty incredible folks talking about stress, how we can shift our reaction to stress, create more space between stimulus and reaction through practices which steady our nervous system, understanding resilience in a different way, growing our resilience, saving some of our reaction. We had some talk about epigenetics and the science of stress and trauma on the body. We had a number of trauma survivors who were generous enough to share their experience. And we have some more coming up in the season to come. Friends, the upcoming season is stunning. The guests I have for you are remarkable. I really grappled with if I should tell you or not. I think I'm going to hold it close to heart for a minute. I did record the first one. I have a bunch of interviews lined up. That's what I'll be doing in the next weeks. It's just kind of a sprint on interviewing. The first one is a yoga superstar legend. You'll all know her, and it's a great episode for practitioners and survivors and yoga teachers. It really goes back to speaking to yoga teachers. And the lineup is incredible. We have some folks talking about the trauma that we're experiencing due to species lost and climate change. We have a two-time author coming on, the woman who wrote the foreword to my forthcoming book. I have a book coming out next year with Shambhala, and the woman who wrote the foreword to that will be on the podcast this season. What else do I want to say? We have a lama, so a Buddhist practitioner. I really wanted to get a sense of what Buddhism has to say about trauma and trauma survival. And wow, I mean, that's a big guess. I'm really amazed that we landed and so excited to share with you. So just we have someone coming on that's going to talk about boundaries. We have really some great stuff coming up. So please tell your friends to subscribe, and please, if you haven't already, leave a review, leave a rating, and I just want to make sure that these great guests and their wisdom is heard. So thank you, and I will see you in 2 weeks for the launch of season 2. Oh my gosh, it's the longest episode yet. I will not edit anything out. The wisdom is so rich, and you are just going to love it. Until then, I'll look for you online. Thank you. Love y'all. Bye.